Hello everyone, this is Spirelli and welcome back to Astrologaster. Mayhap I invest in tulip bulbs. I hear young merchants say such bulb will one day replace silver as the new coin. I think that actually happened, right? Tulips? Like Dutch tulips where... I don't know. Mister, what ails you now?
Good morrow, sir, and well met.
Indeed, 'tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to the great Doctor Simon Forman.
Aye, and I can see why you are come. Methinks you are not well, signor. The colour of your face is quite alarming.
It is because I am losing the blood. The blood does drain away from my face, away down my body, and out of my...
You are bleeding from your fundament. How much have you been bleeding, and for how long?
Un poco, not too much. It does come and go. Sometimes blood, sometimes no blood. You stop the blood, see?
Mayhap I will, but first I must consult the stars to find a diagnosis. What ails Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
Could we first talk about the fact that he apparently doesn't speak any Italian? I'm bleeding from my fundament, what ails me? Signor Ferraro has hemorrhoids, which are swelling in anus and rectum. Plain hemorrhoids cause pain, whereas open hemorrhoids are apt to bleed. Well, that sounds about it. Signor Ferraro suffers from jaundice. A blockage in Signor Ferraro's neck has caused Chollo to pull his head, turning his face yellow. Yeah, no. I am intrigued in figuring out what would happen if with this stuff I would pick wrong ones.
There is nothing here to worry about, Signor Ferraro. Your body is merely purging itself of corrupted blood, in a similar manner to that which does occur in a woman's nethers each month. To wit, 'tis most healthsome and natural.
Are you sure? Are you sure? That is
He's
your
menstruating
final
from his
answer?
ass.
Indeed it is. I do assure you, signor, 'tis the very latest medical thinking on the subject of hemorrhoids. You are welcome to procure a second opinion, but I warrant you will find that most doctors in London will tell you the same.
Then Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day, Signor Forman.
I actually believe that might have been a case where there has been a time where doctors would have said that. The queen did present with the symptoms of bleeding from the fundament. I did diagnose hemorrhoids and told the queen that bleeding from there is as natural as a woman's monthly courses. Methinks the queen was little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Cause I'm trying to get the correct answer so far, but it isn't about that, right? It's about pleasing them so I can get a doctorals. A textbook answer, but it is not hard for a common man to procure a medical book nowadays.
This woman has a gift for words. If only she had riches words, they'd probably be much better words. Though written by Our Lady.
Did you see that?
See what, madam?
Your querent, Signor Ferraro, scuttling away from me like a frighted rabbit. What have I ever done to upset the man? All I did was wish him buongiorno as I passed him at the door.
Verily, Signor Ferraro's behaviour does sound full strange. But let us not think of him, but of the matter that brings you hither, Mistress Lanier. How do you fare?
I fare most well, in the main, for I'm happy to report that you were quite wrong in judging that collaboration with Mr. S would fare ill, for in sooth 'tis going exceeding well. Verily, Dr. Forman, I would be right content with my lot at present if it were not for the trouble I am come about this day.
Pray, tell me of this trouble, madam.
I am being prowled. Oftentimes in the night I see him following me home. One time methinks I even caught him looking at me through my window. I would have you tell me who this prowling man might be.
A prowler?
Hey,
How very worrisome.
that is worrisome
Can you
indeed.
describe this man to me?
Nay, for 'tis always at night that I spy him, and I have always been too frighted for my eyes to linger upon him very long.
Then let us see what light the stars can shed upon the identity of this man who hides himself in darkness. Who is the man prowling Mistress Lanier?
How very poetic. So who is the mystery man prowling me? The prowl is a violent husband. The prowler hopes for a reversal of the ill luck he has had with Mistress Lanier. He harbors a misguided hope that she will perform her wifely duties and resume intimate relations with him. Mistress Lanier is suffering mental confusions owing to her religious beliefs. She also harbors an unjustified level of mistrust towards prospective romantic partners. Oh wow. I could just go with like, women be crazy. The prowler is a man over 30 and a master wit. Mistress Lanier considers him a friend. Prowler harbors undeclared feelings for Mistress Lanier. I'm gonna go with that.
The stars suggest that your prowler is a man with a talent for wit, a man who secretly harbors amorous feelings towards you. Does that sound like anyone you know, madam?
Dr. Forman, I find your question most illogical. I cannot know of a man who harbours secret feelings for me, for indeed, if I were to know of them, the feelings would not be secret.
You got me there.
Yes, well, let me put it another way. Your friend, Mr. S, is the keen-witted man who furtively admires you. He is your prowler, madam.
Mr. S is my prowler, you say? Why, Dr. Forman, what is in you? For indeed 'tis not the first time you have cast shade upon the character of Mr. S. I bid you, sir, check the stars again.
Is it not the most likely explanation, though, madam?
I assure you there is nothing likely about the unique relationship betwixt me and Mr. S. Indeed, he has too much respect for my literary mind to use me so ill. For his is a noble intellect that allows him to soar above the baser instincts of lesser men. Now, if you will not judge the stars again for me, I will bid you good day, Dr. Forman.
Okay. I just want to say for the record that it's not like lesser if the man treats you well and is not a violent drinker. Just saying. The current belief shows being prowled by a man did wish to know his identity. I did advise the current that our prowlers who literally collaborate with Mr. S. Methinks the current took my advice rather ill. I'm not doing so well with her. Dr. Forman does not understand how unlikely we are this out to come and fog. Oh, how unlikely we are this out to come and fog.
Hear ye, hear ye! Sir Walter Raleigh fails to find legendary Treasure City. Rumours say next Raleigh voyage is to Pot of Gold at End of Rainbow. Hear ye!
Reports have lately come in that Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to the New World in search of El Dorado has been a colossal cluster fail. I feel like the word usually isn't cluster fail, but okay. Despite Raleigh's assurance to the Queen that he would return with gold raided from the legendary cities, it is said that Raleigh's ships bring back naught but potatoes. Experts predict Her Majesty's reaction to be somewhat testy.
Here comes Emma, so kind-hearted, kindly she, to the frail and aged she offers sympathy. What is she for others? Especially when they're born of wealth. Here comes Emma, so kind-hearted is she.
I love it. It's just like praising her, and then just like a little side stab. It's like, oh yeah, especially when they're born of health.
Good day to you, Mistress Sharp.
Good day, Dr. Forman. But I am Mistress Delamere now.
Mistress Delamere? But as I recall from my case notes, let me see now, 'twas 3 years past. Aye, were you not hoping to marry a man named George Middleton?
Oh, yes. I did marry Mr. Middleton. For though I did tell my family what you said about his condition of the heart, they quite insisted that I marry him. And truly, they were full wrong to do so, for just as you predicted, Mr. Middleton did verily die of his cardiac passion.
And leave
mere
you some
months
money.
after we were wed.
So soon? How very tragical.
I blame the Scotsman who took to playing his bagpipes below our bedroom window at odd hours of the day and night. Such a bothersome man. Betwixt him and the vipers Mr. Middleton discovered one morning nesting in his undergarments, I fear 'twas all too much for his poor, weak heart. Oh.
There, my dear lady. How distressing your late husband's death must have been for you.
Absolutely.
Aye, indeed, Dr. Forman, so much so that my friends urged me to marry again, lest I die of grief. But now that I am once more a wife, I would not wish to be widowed anew, and John Delamere, my present husband, is also an older man.
Is he
Dr.
now?
Forman, you must tell me whether there be any illness he has, whether there be anything I might do to save my dear sweet husband from an early death.
Then let us see what the stars have to say. Is Mr. John Delamere troubled with any condition that may cause him to die?
Are you sure you didn't have anything to do with the wipers in his underwear or the yacht's hour at which the bagpipe was played, because you knew that those things would lead to his death? John Delamere does suffer from a chaotic passion, or he is bewitched, or is troubled with quinsy, a condition characterized by soreness in the throat, a mild imbalance of blood. That's not what she wants to hear, though, right? But I don't know whether she wants to hear about witchcraft. How about this one also has cardiac passion?
Madam, I am afeard your new husband suffers from a cardiac passion.
Oh, not Mr. Delamere as well?
Aye, 'tis a common condition among men of a certain age. You must keep him away from anything that may cause him alarm or shock. To wit, changes in temperature, sudden noises and surprises, and bagpipes and snakes.
Oh, I will, sir, I will indeed. I thank ye for this wise counsel. Good day, Dr. Forman.
And bagpipes and snakes, indeed. So at least she likes that. I should be getting my letter from her soon, shouldn't I? The Coronet wished to know if her husband, Mr. John Delamere, does suffer from any grave condition. I did judge Mr. Delamere suffering from a cardiac passion. I bade Mistress Delamere shield her husband from extremes in temperatures and noises and shocks. Methinks the Coronet was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. I was still going. Extremes in temperatures, sudden noises and shocks. Interesting.
Sibyl's a fine host, of this she will oft boast.
I know.
She loves to entertain, she loves to entertain. Oh, how she does try, her dinners go awry. And in tears and shame.
Oh god, what happened this time, poor lady?
Good morrow, Mistress Fortescue. How may I help you this day?
I did lately experience feelings of a most strange and disturbing nature, for which I desire an explanation.
I see. Prithee describe these feelings to me, madam. When did they occur?
Last eve, at a dinner party hosted by my dear friend Mistress Emma Delamere. All was well at first, but soon after my arrival I was stricken with a kind of madness.
Madness, you say?
Yes, moments during which I found myself overcome with feelings of mirth, laughing most immoderately at the dullest of remarks made by other guests. At other times I felt an unnatural fascination with the shape of the candelabra in the table's centrepiece. And all the while I was so ravenous with hunger, I quite absent-mindedly ate all the sweetmeats at my end of the table. I fear my rapaciousness did not escape the notice of guests seated beside me.
Such an immoderate appetite is out of character for you, I take it. It could not have merely been occasioned by anxious passions?
Why, nay, Dr. Forman. Forsooth, I ought to have been very calm last eve, for I did spend the afternoon inhaling the fumes of an aromatic oil, a gift from my sweet husband, sent back from his explorations in the Near East.
Well, that's what I would have guessed.
My husband, Captain Henry Fortescue, before,
yes,
I think.
you did, my dear.
He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh. Oh, Henry and Sir Walter find the oil most relaxing, so he tells me.
Yet you were not so very relaxed last eve, I take it.
No, not in the least. For I fear a capricious spell was cast upon me. Over the course of the evening, I developed the strongest intuition that malignant forces were present in the room and that I had been bewitched. Could it be true, Dr. Forman? Might a witch have cast a spell on me?
That is something we shall have to ask the stars, madam. Let us see. What was it that afflicted Mistress Sybil Fortescue last eve at dinner?
Oh no, that's a good question. I know. I think you know. But like, for them, it's like, but I only, like, had some oil that was sent to me from my husband. He finds it most relaxing. Most relaxing indeed. The current is troubling melancholy, a condition characterized by lethargy, anxiety, and sadness. No, Corinne has been bewitched. Well, she maybe wants to hear that. Troubles result from smoke inhalation. It suggests an altered mental state. The sun suggests the condition is chronic. I don't think so, but it has to do with...
Now, madam, the oil your husband sent you. This was the first time you did inhale its fumes, methinks.
Yes, the shipment of gifts from my husband did only lately arrive.
Ah, then I think we have your answer. I have read some interesting tales of such oils and herbs of the Near East. 'Tis said they occasion certain temperaments, to wit, an excessive sanguinity, which will have caused the immoderate laughter and increased appetite. They can also provoke a narrowing of the mind, which would explain your temporary fascination with the candelabra, and I believe the fumes of this oil may also have been responsible for the notion that you have been bewitched.
And the men of the Near East gain pleasure from this oil? They would render themselves foolish on purpose.
Aye, indeed. Foreigners have many strange customs and desires that we cannot hope to understand.
How fascinating! I thank you for this explanation, sir.
Of
Indeed,
course.
'twill make for a most diverting tale with which to regale guests at my next dinner.
Oh, it
God
will.
give you good morrow, Dr. Forman.
The Corinne can't seek an explanation for strange behaviour at the dinner hosted by Mistress Emma Delamere. I did judge the Corinne's strange behaviour as having been provoked by the inhalation of smoke from an oil obtained in the Near East. I think the Corinne is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. So she doesn't really want to hear about witchcraft. She's just like, was I bewitched? Okay. I wonder if Dr. Forman's manservant was ever in the Navy. His arms do appear very strong.
Another consultation. Will this one end in bed? Or will Mistress Allen slap him round the head?
One or the other. One or the other, as I always say.
Ah, good day, Mistress Allen. What brings you this day? Oh, dear lady, you tremble like a leaf on an autumn day.
What's wrong?
Aye, for I'm most affrighted. But Mr. Allen says he thinks I worry over naught. So I am come to you, for methinks you would... Perchance you may help me.
By my troth, pray tell me of this evil that affrighted you, madam, and I shall do all in my power to protect you from it.
Yes, evil. Oh, indeed, 'tis the very word for it. I have seen a dark figure prowling outside our house in the
You
night.
too.
And once I saw him spying through my window. Who is he? What does he want from me? What am I to do?
I see.
Is it somebody I know then?
And you do not recognize his face or any other particulars? The
A big
colour of his hair,
moustache?
for instance?
Oh, nay, for 'tis always so dark. But by his silhouette I can tell he is a bony, scrawny little man.
Is he verily? But your husband thinks 'tis naught to worry over, you say?
Aye, he says the man is doubtless naught but a poor travelling tinker who is merely taking shelter in our garden. 'Twould explain why his figure is so slight, to be sure, but what if he is not a tinker? What if his purpose is more sinister?
Aye, indeed. Then let us consult the stars.
Wait, is that me?
Who is the man prowling outside the Allen's house in the night? And what is his purpose?
Because I've been described as scrawny before. Who has been prowling me and why? If it's mine, she must rein in her behavior. Not only does Avis have a deceptive nature, she's bereft with romance and has preference for younger men. Avis risks being punished by God for her frequent comings and goings from her house. This intimate relationship between Avis and I is changing. The Prowler is a mature, intelligent man who has a secret enemy of the island. So I have this. It's a secret enemy. Or... she has a preference for younger men. I don't quite understand how these work together, you know? She risks being punished by God for her comings and goings. But she's obsessed with romance, a preference for younger men. She must rein in her behavior. No, because you are also with her even though she's married to somebody else. But I guess the relationship between the two of them is changing. Surprise, a mature, intelligent man who is a secret enemy of the islands. I don't know, but it sounds like drama, so I'm gonna...
The stars suggest the Prowler is a secret foe of your husband. Does Mr. Allen have any gambling debts, perchance?
Hold. Methinks I see it now. Ah, 'tis you! The Prowler, 'tis you!
Me? How now, madam? What an outlandish notion.
So you would deny it? That you have prowled and spied upon me these last months?
Prithee, Avis, you've got
Whoopsie.
it all.
I will not have it. I am not a thing to be owned. I'm not one of your prized possessions.
I prithee, madam, put that down. Put it...
Ah!
Fie, madam. That was a priceless Venetian vase.
Well, women are not into stalkers. Just saying. The court, believing she was being prowled, wished to know the identity of her prowler. Advised the court that the prowler was a secret enemy of her husband. She disagreed and accused me of prowling her. Methinks the court took my advice most ill. But I already have my letter of recommendation, so whatever. 5. If I see him in the garden again, I shall have Mr. Allen go, and nay, methinks I best not tell Mr. Allen. I do for you.
Who is this man who has on such a claim? Lately returned from his conquests in Spain. The streets of London resound with his fame. Robert his name.
He does look quite fancy somehow in his puffed up pants and tights, and I don't know why. It somehow makes for a good figure. It's not something I thought I'd ever say about this outfit.
Good day, sir. How may I... By Jupiter! Can it be true? Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex, Lord of Her Majesty's Privy Council, a hero of the Battle of Cadiz.
Prithee, calm yourself, Sirrah. Pray, treat me just as you would any other querent.
Of course, as it pleases your lordship. But may I say, what a great privilege it is to... may I offer you a...
You are the man who had some success treating the plague some years past, are you not?
Yes.
Oh, indeed, my lord. You are very well informed. My strong water did save many a Londoner from a most lamentable death.
Then perchance you might have some cunning cure for me as well, for since I am returned to England upon having resolved that small matter in Spain, I find myself afflicted with the most vexing ailment.
Oh, but your most glorious capture of the Spanish city of Cadiz was no small matter, my lord. All England talks of nothing else. Why, pamphlets recounting your heroic exploits are sold on every street corner in London.
I'm in love.
Mayhap they are. I know nothing of them. My single-handed victory against the King of Spain was but a trifling affair, and the least I could do for my queen and a grateful nation. But I fear vast riches and the hearts of many a Spanish beauty were not the only things I did capture while I was there.
What else did you capture in Spain, my lord? I fear I do not grasp your meaning. If you would kindly show me where upon your body you are...
As you see, this Spanish disease I caught has me oozing a most disagreeable substance.
Methinks I have a fair idea of the nature of your affliction. But I must confirm the judgment with a reading of the stars. Let us see, what disease troubles Robert Lord Devereux, the Earl of Essex?
Well, let's see. My body does ooze a false substance. What is my illness and how may I be cured? Robert Devereux is suffering from gonorrhea, a disease characterized by white matter running from the privy member and pain when passing urine. Or is troubled with love? Which, as we all know, makes you secrete stuff. Robert Devereaux is suffering from evil digestion, affliction that may occasion both upward and downward purging. Yeah, no. So the medical questions are pretty straightforward.
You have gonorrhea, my lord. 'Tis a condition provoked by an increase in intimate activities.
Too much strumpy-humpy, eh? Well, 'tis true that since news of my victory got about, every wench from Southwark to Shoreditch wants a piece of my action, as it were. And how may this gonorrhea be cured?
The most effective method is lead plate therapy. Usually this requires a man to lie in bed for many hours with a leaden plate positioned upon his privy parts, thus allowing the lead to impart its healing properties to the affected member. But, of course, men such as your lordship have no time to lie around in bed, which is why... Let me just fetch it from my cabinet. Which is why I invented
Some wine?
this.
And that is what? Some sort of wonder chub, like the ones old men used to wear?
Precisely so, my lord. 'Tis a codpiece that I had a blacksmith fashion out of lead. I invite your lordship to wear it under your breeches so that the lead may remain in contact with your privy member at all times. Indeed, until you are cured.
How very droll this is. Verily, how old-fashioned. I will appear as hung as old King Henry Tudor. Mayhap I just wear it in my chambers.
Good day, and please come again. If you need anything at all, I am at your service.
Yeah, I'm here to talk about your private parts and how well hung you are. The patient did present oozing a foul discharge. Did diagnose a case of gonorrhea and described the application of lead plate to the private parts. Methinks the Crown is most pleased with me for the reading I gave today. I think one more of those and we're there. Though if I were to go about Whitehall Palace wearing a wonder chop, perchance it would revive the fashion for cut pieces. That must be a quite fashionable area.
Watch another Aves, watch her night and day. If a woman has your heart, you cannot let her stray.
Excuse me, if you are with a woman who's married, I think she is straying already, and you don't have a claim upon her either way.
Ah, Avis, I did not expect to see you this evening. Do you bring news?
Aye, some very good news, at least if you confirm it for me. Methinks I am with child.
Ah, how very wondrous. And, have you any idea of who might...
Aye, verily, with child, but I dare not to. Forsooth, what if it be naught but false hope?
Then let us ask the stars without delay. Is Mistress Avis Allen verily with child?
Let's see. What do the stars say? Oh, there's a lot of stars to read here. Evil angels are confusing Mistress Ellen. Within a few months it will become clear that she's not with child. She's aging. This decreases her chance of being with child. The family thinks she's lazy. She's untrustworthy and creative when it comes to her marital duties. Should feel optimistic about the relationship between. So this basically goes on about telling her she's not pregnant. Mistress Annie is with child, but it will die, for she will experience some sudden bad luck, a miscarriage. The father of Mrs. Ellen's unborn child is a strong young man that she is romantically involved with. So you either have to tell her that she is getting so old that she's probably not going to be with child anymore and she just feels like that. She's just menopausing, or I have to tell her that actually she is with child, but once again she will be losing it like she has all the times before. I don't know which one of these read rather here, and I don't know which one of these is true because I don't have enough information to go on other than that they were doing the humpy strumpy, whatever they call it. I'm gonna go with the same thing happens again. It's gonna be a miscarriage.
Madam, the stars confirm that you are indeed with child. and
But-
that the father is...
Oh, joy! Simon, is it not wondrous?
But
You and I are to be blessed.
Hold. I am not finished. The stars also reveal the identity of the father.
There is no need to read the stars for that, for surely 'tis obvious that you...
Prithee, admit it. You have been coupling with my manservant, William.
Why, you... I warrant the stars say nothing of the sort.
See here, in my chart. 'Tis plain as day. In the house of children, alongside Venus, there is the planet Mars. Who else but William could that be?
But such scribblings of yours, they mean nothing to me. For all I know, you make up those stories about planets and houses and such.
what?
Why, verily, perchance you might draw up a new chart, Simon. One that tells of how the planet Avis is no longer in the House of Forman.
You would mock me, madam? You would make a jest of my... Oh, I see. Leaving now, are you? Then you do so. You leave. I bid you good day.
I think I brought this onto myself because I kind of said there's gonna be drama between the two. But I more thought to tell her that she's gonna lose this one as well, so she doesn't get her hopes up, and he's just like, you are pregnant, but actually it's not mine. You have been Wumpy strumping my man's servant, haven't you? Just nothing but trauma all the time. She's gonna be back one more time. The Cornet wished to know whether she was with child. Advised the Cornet that she was with child, and gave voice to my suspicion that the child's father was my manservant William Buck. Methinks the Cornet took my advice rather ill. Simon's jealous fancies. I do not think I can abide them any longer. Okay. Well, let's end it with that, because so far I've screwed up a lot of things, and now my relationship with her. So I'm not doing too well, but I have fun reading the stars. I hope you enjoy it too. See you soon.